it looks like he's going to keep his 4. We'll see who's on the play here. And it is Drew. He's got to grow with Burn Wolves, Chromatic Star, and away we go in round number 9. And Briksza with the Steam Fence. He'll go down to 18, and it's a Serum Visions. Kolaghan's command the draw. And Rudy will scry. Both cards appear to be going to the bottom. Cranfill will draw. He'll start by blowing the star. Draw a card. He's on the hunt for Tron pieces, so he'll cast an Ancient Stirrings.
Some less than ideal draws for Drew here, even given that he's on 4 cards with Pyroclasm and Emrakul among his cards.
Yeah, they're ready. Urza's Mind's been found. That'll be the land for the turn. And Drew will just have to pass the turn back. Rudy with an island. There's a Jace.
Spoke too soon about Pyroclasm.
That's right.
Good to go.
Now it looks like there might be a Sylvan Scrying in hand right now. And for me, if there is a Sylvan Scrying hand, I want to cast it and resolve it right now. Jace is scary-ish, but it's not so good that I feel I need to kill it. But it's super important for my deck to actually be able to get to Tron to be able to function.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is on Drew's side of the table is that Rudy is threatening to flip right away. Just a Thought Scour and he's off to the races. And if you're playing against discard spells or, you know, something along those lines, it may be hard to win. I agree with you that resolving the Sylvan Scrying seems like the priority that turn.
Drew will draw. Picked up a Chromatic Star, so he'll play that. He's going to cash it in. Looks like that star might still be on the stack. Okay. Now he'll cash it in. So he gets to draw a card. Another star. He'll attempt a scrying, but that's not going to resolve. Gets hit by Spell Pierce. And now Lightning Bolt's going to go upstairs. Here's Snapcaster Mage. And we'll flashback Serum Visions. And so you know, that Cavern of Souls on Cranfill side is named Golems, which matters for Sundering Titan. Cranfill will draw. Picked up a Chromatic Sphere and a star in hand, so he'll start cracking some of these, work his way through.
Yeah, and Tron is redundant in its own weird way. Not only Sylvan Scrying Exposition map, but there's just a lot of cycling in the deck as well.
Yeah. One thing I don't love about Cranfill's turn here is playing a naked Expedition map.
Kolaghan's command's a huge beating right now.
Yep.
It's actually the Expedition map and the last card in his hand.
Yeah. Now, the last card in hand is Emrakul, which is something he doesn't really mind discarding, but at the same time, that map is, that's a premium card right now.
Yeah, so if you're in Drew's spot here, gonna dig for a little Tron expertise, you would cast the sphere and just pass?
Yes. Because if I'm playing map, I don't want to play it into something where it's like, it's reasonable for you to think that Rudy has that card in his hand, right? He's had no other reason to cast it.
Yeah.
And you know that Grixis Control plays that card in heavy numbers.
I guess it's possible Drew thinks that Rudy just might be blue-red. Because he hadn't seen black mana up until that point.
Sure.
Outside chance, but, you know. I wouldn't rule it out.
Emrakul is the card that's discarded. That's why Drew's shuffling his deck. Now he's just playing at the top of his deck, though he does have a Chromatic Sphere on the battlefield. Snapcaster Mage is going to come into the red zone. And Briksza will pass the turn back. It's funny because it's not hard for Drew to assemble Tron and get himself back into this game.
I think he's just ripped another Tron piece.
Yeah, he's got Power Plant now. Karn was his draw step, so he peels off a tower. He's got a spell to cast. Here comes Snapcaster Mage. It's not that good of a clock. Relic of Progenitus is actually pretty good. That can take care of the graveyard.
And nothing wrong with that.
Pass the turn back. Here's Thought Scour. 2 cards go in the bin. New card coming. upkeep crack is decent. Because if it forces Rudy to use Snapcaster on his upkeep if he wants to.
Exactly.
The only danger there is if you draw yourself into something relevant and then you get hit by an Inquisition or a Thoughtseize. I think a map was the draw. He's got enough mana to play around Mana Leak here. It's actually pretty nice. No, I think this is a smart play by Rudy because he has Kolaghan's Command in his hand.
He's just trying to set up the same line of play from last turn.
Yep. Bolt's going upstairs. Cranfill down to 8. He's going down to 6 now. I think it might be too little too late for Drew because he can take down that and deal him 2. Or just make him discard his Karn. And there's nothing he can really draw in combination with the Snapcaster Mage in hand, the Bolt in the graveyard, and the Creeping Tar Pit.
Yep. Drew with 2 cards might be able to assemble something that matters, but with only 1 card, can't really get it done.
Here comes Snappy. Puts you down to 4. Pass the turn back. There's another power plant. Here's Snapcaster Mage on Lightning Bolt, and that'll take care of game number 1. So Rudy Briksza will win game number 1 against Drew Cranfill. Briksza's control up a game over Green Red Tron.
And a very big win there for Rudy. I think it's get a lot better for him post.
Winning game 1 is very important here.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Mulligan's aside. Now we take a look at the sideboards. We'll start with Drew. He's got an interesting main deck build. He's got some good sideboard options too.
4 copies of Rending Volley, 3 copies of Nature's Claim, 2 Feed the Clan, 2 Spellskite, 2 Thragtusk, a Ghost Quarter, and a Pyroclasm. I think the 2 copies of Thragtusk definitely coming in this kind of matchup. You can battle Rudy kind of straight up with threats like that. Beyond that, I don't think this is a matchup really made for Rending Volley. That's more of an anti-Splinter Twin measure, but with Jace in Rudy's deck, it's possible he wants a little bit of that action.
I would want to board in Rending Volley in this matchup just to slow it down a little bit and be able to interact more with Jace, with Snapcaster Mage. You don't know if your opponent has a card like Vendilion Click as well. It doesn't appear that he has a twin deck, and once you saw a card like Gurmag Angler and Tasker milled over.
Rending Volley seems like a straight upgrade over Pyroclasm, and
yes.
There's 3 in the main deck here on Drew's side. You're going to bring in the 2 Thragtusks almost certainly, and so that's a spot for at least 1 copy of Rending Volley, and you could add on top of that if you wanted to.
On the other side of things here for Rudy, he's got a Vandal Blast and Negate, a Dispel, a Curse of Echoes.
He said it was really good in the mirror.
Okay. A Languish, a Duress, a Keranos got a Storms, a Dreadbore, an Olivia Voldaren, an Engineer Explosives, a Grave Titan, and then 4 copies of Fulminator Mage. Wacky sideboard.
Yep. So the 4 copies of Fulminator Mage I love here, especially alongside Kolaghan's Command. I think Vandal Blast, Negate are both reasonable cards. Duress is fine, and I like Dreadbore in this matchup too. A way to answer a Planeswalker like Karn before things get too out of control.
Now, Dreadboard's a pretty nice option from the sideboard, so we'll see if he wants to bring that in among other options as these players get ready here for game number 2. We'll take a look at the Season 4 schedule here in the Open Series. We also got that brand new playmat to bring you as well. We got the Invitational in New Jersey next weekend, where you can get that brand new playmat. We'll unveil in just a moment, but for Season 4, we start off in Cincy.
Yeah, and we start right after the Invitational in New Jersey as well. Cincinnati, a Standard Open in Worcester, Standard Open in Milwaukee, Indianapolis at the beginning of October. After that, we head to Atlanta, take a week off, and then we're in Legacy for St. Louis for a Legacy Open Series event. Modern in Dallas, back in Philadelphia for Standard Open Series November 7th and 8th. A Seal Grand Prix in Atlanta. We'll have more information about that event as we get closer. Standard Grand Prix in KC, Legacy Open Series back in New Jersey. We head to Denver for the first time in many years for a Standard Open in December. Then the Season 4 Invitational, Standard and Modern as the Invitational format with a 2-day $20,000 Standard Open Series event in Las Vegas, Nevada, December 11th through 13th. And then the Players' Championship 1 week later, Roanoke, Virginia, Star City Games headquarters.
Already got 5 players there. Brad Nelson, Jim Davis, Kevin Jones, Jacob Wilson, Ali Antrazi, working on figuring out the rest of the bunch. But for the playmat, the Hoppin' Rabbit Master. Giving the beat downs with the carrots. A play on Goblin Rabble Master. Hoppin' Rabbit Master is our Season 4 playmat. It is available until December 5th. Free limited edition playmat. You sign for the Open Series main event, you get one of these things.
Yep.
Pretty simple stuff.
And when we don't send it to you after the fact, it's not limited to the first X people who register. Sign up for any of our Open Series events in Season 4. Get this playmat.
You guys have been big fans of kind of the parody playmats that we've done, so I imagine we'll have more coming.
We keep cranking them out for a reason.
Yeah. We started things off with Polar Punch. We went to Tassiper, the Golden Paw. Many people calling for Bananas, the slave dog, play that by himself.
Yep. Finally free of Tassiper's shackles.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even know what to do with himself. Though,
No.
You know? Can't just let a dog run off.
Now we've got the Hoppin' Rabbit Master. All right, now, though, we got Drew Cranfill. Taking like it's 7 cards. Maybe looking to keep a 7-card hand for a change.
Really important in the post-board games where he's just playing against a lot more interaction.
Looks like he's going to keep. He'll start with an Urza's Power Plant. That's a Chromatic Sphere. I'm underway here in game 2. Briksza with a Scalding Tarn. Cranfill draw an Expedition Map. He'll start by cracking this, likely for a green mana. Get to draw a card.
I've played plenty of games against Tron where a turn 3 Stone Rain on the draw has not been fast enough.
No, not even close.
The game's out of control by that point. Not to say Fulminator Mage is a bad card. It's the best card Rudy brings to the table in the post-board games. But Rudy drawing one and casting one on time is not a guarantee of anything.
The thing is even though Tron's a 20-land deck and it's built around just getting to the Tron as fast as possible, it's a little more resilient than I think people realize. Now, you know, there are effects like, you know, Sowing Salt they can't beat. But,
Yep.
you know, a Stone Rain, a Molten Rain, a Fulminator Mage, I've beaten those many times.
I'm looking here just at the spell list here. 4 Ancient Stirring, 4 Sylvan Scrying, 4 Expedition Map. Those all rebuild. And then 4 Chromatic Sphere, 4 Chromatic Spire, 2 Relic of Progenitus. Those all cycle.
Yeah.
That's a lot of looks. It does not play like a 60-card deck.
Yeah, it's a lot more consistent than you would think. That is a Sulphur Falls. We're going to head back Cranfill's way. He'll draw a card. Missing the Urza's Mine right now. He's got the power plant in the tower. Looks like he's going to go hunting. And get a mine. A little risky to do. So I say it's a little risky to do this right now. And the reason for that, if you remember Grand Prix Charlotte well, which I imagine many of you do, Shadow of Doubt is a card that Patrick Chapin certainly used to a lot of success. And on this particular turn, because Cranfill doesn't have Tron, there's no real point in completing Tron.
Yeah. It's a low-risk play because Rudy probably has 0, maybe has 1. But if that card's on your radar, there's probably a better way to do it.
Yeah, if you get Shadow Doubt it there, it's not great.
Oh,
but,
it's ugly.
But if you get Shadow Doubt it, you prefer to do it in the upkeep, right? Of
Yes.
Rudy's turn, because then it's his entire turn.
Correct.
Here's a Steam Vents. Are we going to have a Fulminator Mage on the way? No, it's only a single mana. And there'll be a Serum Visions. So take a draw. And scry 2. 1 on top, 1 on bottom very quickly for Briksza. Cranfill with Tron. What can he do with it? Another Urza's Mine. There's a Tower of Power. Able to play around Mana Leak. Here's Karn. That's a Mana Leak. I'm gonna pay for that. This is awkward. This is awkward.
Yeah. Rudy with a perhaps too confident Mana Leak.
Maybe a little too much flourish there.
Yeah.
Well,
And Drew was just like, yeah, that's good.
yeah.
I got 3 mana to spare.
I'm gonna pay for that. You better have your Dreadbore now. Yep,
That one makes 3.
Still taps for 3. Still taps for 3.
Perhaps better to do the reading before casting the Mana Leak.
Yes, perhaps.
Not after.
Perhaps.
A lot of ins, a lot of outs.
Karn is going to go up again.
How much does this delight you?
I'm going to keep it professional right now.
Having a Karn in play seems great. I've never had one. It seems great.
It is one of the best feelings in the world. You feel unstoppable. Oblivion Stone. Would you like to Mana Leak that? Looks like the answer is no.
Yeah, that one's in.
Yeah. And Urza's Mine? Pass. Oh, Mighty Snapcaster Mage. See, this is one of the games where you just get to overpower the Grixis control deck with what you're doing.
Tron can do it sometimes with Wormcoil Engine.
Absolutely.
And does it all the time with Karn.
Yeah. Rudy's going to flash back a Thought Scour. 2 cards down, full Air Mage, one of them. And drawing a mystery card. Untap and draw. Snapcaster Mage with the draw step. Oh, well, Karn down to 300 now.
Gotta start somewhere.
You really do.
Rome was not built in a day.
Lewis Jax, please report to the stage.
Here's Liliana.
Two-headed giant team, Lewis Jax, please report to the stage.
Elevator's going up. Briksza going to discard a Swamp. Cranfill going to discard Grove of the Burn Willows. He'll draw a card. Drew very much in the driver's seat right now, though did not activate his Oblivion Stone on the end step to put a Fate counter on Karn. A little sloppy in that regard. It's a freebie.
Yeah.
And you kind of want to blow up O-Stone right now, honestly. Instead of minusing Karn to take care of Liliana, you'd rather just keep going up with that thing.
I think that's the insurance policy, though. I think that Drew's line of play from here is probably going to be take care of Liliana, play Eye of Ugin.
Go get Emrakul.
Go get Emrakul, yeah.
Keep it simple. There's a Snapcaster Mage. Gonna go after Karn. Down to 5. Looks like it's time to activate the Eye of Ugin. Quick mana check. 2 towers is 6. 3 other pieces is 12. Eye of Ugin puts you up to 14. So any mana source here from Drew will get him up to the necessary mana for Emrakul. And Rudy is conveniently at 15. And there's the other piece. So Drew Cranfill is going to win game number 2 here against Rudy Briksza. Green Red Tron and Grixis Control getting ready for game number 3.
And there's a lesson to be taken away from that game. When Drew gets to do his thing, Rudy can't hang even if Rudy's got good stuff going on. He's got Counterspell, Snapcaster Mages. It looked like he was doing some Grixis stuff, but he can't fight on Drew's level when Drew has mana and things to do with his mana.
No.
Was not. I mean, it was surprising how anemic all those Snapcasters felt.
If you can make Snapcaster Mage into a medium to bad Magic card, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah. A lot of power in that Tron deck.
Yeah. That's some of the appeal of the deck. So players are going to get ready here for game number 3. Briksza will be on the play, but in the meantime, we will talk about the Open Trials here on the Open Series. Very popular stuff. Able to get buys coming to these things. Rudy Briksza coming to this tournament had 2 buys. There's a lot of other stuff involved as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of prizes. Even if you're not interested in playing in the Open Series events, we have playmats and SCG premium vouchers available as prizes. And of course, the buys extremely valuable if you plan on playing in any of the Open Series events.
Yeah, having 1 or 2 buys coming to these events, these main events, very, very big deal. But as we mentioned, other stuff going on there too. StarCityGames.com for more information. It's just more organized play for your local store too.
Exactly. You know, you can add prizes on top of this. Just bring players out to the store for more events. And if you're interested in playing in an upcoming Open Series event, having buys, very, very valuable.
Both these players getting ready to take a look at their openers. And Briksza will be on the play. Looks like he's keeping that one pretty quickly. See if Cranfill can keep 7 again. Made it look easy with 7 last game. Giving this one a long look.
Looks like a solid hand. I can't see exactly what the spells are, but from a mana perspective, it looks like he's got some Tron pieces and a Grove.
This is one of the few times where whiteboarded cards help because it means he's got two lands in hand.
Yep.
But he's clearly not happy enough, so he's going to send it back.
Especially with the Tron deck, where you're constantly picking up your deck looking for those cards. Not bad to have the whiteboarded ones.
Well, Rudy going to take a look at his sideboard, so we'll take a look at him. 26-year-old from Baltimore, Maryland, 8 Open Series top 8s with 2 wins. He's also a former soccer player, martial artist background with purple belt in several disciplines, and was a lead in several plays throughout his life. Almost went to school for acting, but decided he wanted to play some Magic instead.
Yep. A Central Jersey native.
Yeah. I know, pretty close to where you grew up, right?
Yeah. Rudy and I had a shared social sphere before Magic was even part of the equation.
Oh, fair enough.
Sort of the Rutgers scene.
You and your Rutgers. Scarlet Knights.
Scarlet Knights.
Almost football season.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys play Michigan State this year?
Yeah, I think they're playing in New Jersey this year.
Okay. I know you and Mark Herberholt's teammates at Grand Prix Detroit.
Yep.
A Michigan State guy. Here's the Serum Visions. Rudy going to scry 2. One on top, one on bottom appears to be the split. We'll go Drew's way. I have Vug in the first draw step. It's Chromatic Star. Pass the turn back over. Sulfur Falls, kick it over. Go to Drew. Pitch over Chromatic Sphere. He'll start by cracking the star for green mana. Another Sphere is the draw. Here's an Ancient Stirrings. That's probably going to get countered. Yep. Does he have another land is the question. The answer is yes. It's a Ghost Quarter into an Expedition map.
And Rudy can only fend off for so long this way. He needs to get a threat into play, and then cards like Mana Leak can keep him off balance, or he needs to start attacking Drew's Tron pieces. But you cannot play defense forever against Tron just with counter spells and no pressure.
Yeah, I like cracking here. Go get a Tron piece. That'll be your land for the turn. You know, sometimes I'm fine with playing around Shadow of Doubt, but here's a time to try to get moving a little bit.
Yeah, and, you know, again, most likely 0 copies in Rudy's list. Maybe there's 1, and you can only concede so much of your development in a situation like that.
There's a star. Rudy going to very quickly sacrifice a land here. Get himself a Watery Grave. Terminate Gurmag Angler among the options here. The draw is another land. Swamp is the play. Now, Rudy's best card in this hand right now is Cryptic Command. He's going to need that one to win this game.
But even a card that powerful, it only buys time. It's not a permanent solution to any of this.
Cranfill going to start by sacrificing the Sphere. His draw for the turn was Urza's Tower. Going to play another Sphere. He's going to crack here. Get a little deeper into the deck. Draw a card. Found in Urza's Mine. He'll play the tower, pass the turn back. Tron is complete. Just nothing to do with it at this point. Jace the draw. But Rudy can't cast Jace because he's got to lead Cryptic up.
Yeah. And the Grixis set to me is you can always tell how it's doing in a game. If it's leaving up Cryptic Command because it can, usually means it's winning. When it's leaving up Cryptic Command because it has to, usually means it's losing. And Rudy right now is in that second spot.
Yep. Dreadbore the draw. Blood Crypt going to come down. This will allow Rudy to play Jace with Cryptic Command available. So this is actually a pretty good turn. Cranfill's going to search.
But this right here is a huge long-term problem. Drew does not have to do anything except make land drops and get to Emrakul.
Yeah, that's it. You get that kind of inevitability, which is really nice.
Now, if Rudy is able to find something like Fulminator Mage and pin down Drew's mana, then that Cryptic Command becomes extremely powerful.
Correct. Wormcoil Engine is being searched up.
And because of Ayavuga and all the mana Drew has, he has the luxury of essentially test spelling Rudy if he wants to with just Wormcoil Engines.
Yeah, which is horrifying if you think about it. I'm going to test spell you with Wormcoil Engines and Sundering Titan.
Yeah, do you counter this? All right, whatever. Sure.
I don't even care about that.
Right.
Drew going to draw. Oblivion Stone, another actually really good test spell. Just a way to buy time. 6 mana. Wormcoil Engine.
So I think confirming that there's 2 floating.
Yep. Now here's O-Stone. No, 2 mana will not be floating. There's only a cost restriction on Eldrazi.
Oh, excuse me.
Not
okay.
on Wormcoil Engine.
You can search for colorless.
Correct.
All right.
So when you work Ayavuga into the equation as far as mana is concerned, it only matters for Emrakul. and just think of it as an Urza's Minor power plant. Yep, that's it. Jace is flipping. Let's see what he wants to discard. I was a little surprised to see Rudy not Cryptic Command that Wormcoil Engine. Opting to go with Terminate instead. Because there's still a problem on the battlefield, and it's those tokens.
Yeah. If nothing else, I feel like Rudy's got to be drawing cards as efficiently as he can right now, because he needs to find Fulminator Mage as soon as possible.
Yeah.
He can only hold on to this game for a couple more turns this way.
There's Dreadboard to take out a token. Any 2-mana land's going to allow Emrakul to come down. Any Tron piece. Any white borders? Nope. Pyroclasm.
And by taking this line of play, also now Rudy has to try to defend his Jace.
Oh, he has a white border card in hand, so that makes it very easy. Because he's got 2 towers, 3 Tron pieces. This is exactly 15. So there's Emrakul. Trigger, take my extra turn. Cryptic Command buys him a single turn. I suppose he can get real creative with Cryptic Command, tap your team, draw a card, and then the next turn, flash it back, but that doesn't really do very much. Yeah, you're not really going to get anywhere down that road. So Drew gets to say the one thing I love saying with Emrakul in play. Attack step. Here's Cryptic Command.
And the other issue here is now, even doing this, if Drew wants to, he can go ahead and just find Sundering Titan.
Correct.
Knock up a bunch of Rudy's lands.
The window's open now where Rudy has to tap all of his mana on his own turn. Now Drew gets to do whatever he wants to do. We'll see how much mana he has access to here. Because with 7 plus I'm not sure if he has enough to be able to search up and play Titan in the same turn. Yeah, it looks like he's short a mana to be able to do that, but he can activate and search up. He can activate and search up Wormcoil Engine, play that, and say go. Yeah. And that's
not a bad consolation prize.
Still quite good.
So I think he's blowing up the Oblivion Stone here because he wants the Emrakul back in his deck. He's just going to go through this again.
Yeah, that's a little fancy. Honestly. Because what's he going to do about Emrakul on the battlefield?
Yeah, I mean, any solution that he has involves like damnation or something that's
which you'd want to shuffle it up again. Yeah, that's
putting him back in.
Because think about, for instance, if Rudy were to draw Fulminator Mage this turn, he can break up Tron.
Yeah.
So this is
pretty risky.
Yeah, this is a little risky / fancy for me. You know, a card like Shadow of Doubt works its way into the equation now. I don't think it's going to come back to hurt Drew, but it's certainly not something that I feel is necessary in this situation. Because before you accomplish the goal,
right,
which is getting Emrakul on the battlefield.
Feels like if you're in true spot, you can just keep hammering him with Worm Coils and Sundering Titans, and if something weird happens, you have access to the play that you have access to.
Yeah.
But you are correct that if Rudy had a way to break up Tron that turn, then all of a sudden the game seems pretty hard for Drew to win, potentially.
Yeah, to me, with the board that Drew had, Oblivion Stone is the escape hatch in case anything goes wrong.
Right.
And yes, Jace a really good card. Do your worst with it. Here's Emrakul again. Trigger, draw a card. Time to untap. And I think we're going to see our final attack step here, day 1. Well, not just yet.
Still another window for Sundering Titan.
Yep.
That's the thing you want to do.
There's Cavern of Souls. And I do like getting the Titan now. Cavern of Souls did name Gullum, which is Sundering Titan's creature type. Blow some lands here. Yeah, Rudy going to show a Mana Leak and a Spell Pierce. Those are his 2 cards.
A little late to the party.
Yeah, a touch. Don't really have a lot of text right now. So Titan's going to come in and blow up a couple of lands. Take care of a couple of duels here. Well, that's your mountain, that's your swamp. This looks to be your island. Get the dual lands out of here, leave them some basics. Pass the turn back. Rudy will draw Thought Scour. Feel free. Mill 2 cards. Draw a card, and that's going to do it. Drew Cranfill is going to win this matchup over Rudy Briksza. 2-1. Green Red Tron will take care of Briksza's control. It's a good matchup for Tron.
Rudy never found his Fulminator Mages in the post-board games. Drew had a reasonable hand, and Rudy couldn't stay in the game for very long. And that, game 1, Drew mulligan to the point where cards like Kolaghan's Command attacking his hand were really significant. In the post-board games, when Drew had 7-card hands, even 6-card hands, if Rudy can't break up his mana or apply a fast clock, it's only a matter of time. And both games 2 and 3 felt like Rudy was able to defend himself for a while, but he didn't get anywhere fast enough. And without a way to disrupt Drew's mana, that's not going to be a winning strategy.